this is a really exciting part of the show because not only am I joined by Holly Gans, who has some very interesting scientific stuff to talk about, but you are holding a real kitten. Therefore, yes. This is the best. Look at this girl. This is Venom. This is Tanya Hall's cat, who I have just learned comes to twit. And is like an office cat. My cats would never do that, and is super adorable. But this actually ties into what we're going to talk about because, okay, so I understand that you had a Kickstarter project which was very successful. In fact, you asked for several $1,000s. You ended up raising well over $20,000. So right on, Kickstarter's over. But this is a project to map the microbiome. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Of cats, and that's domestic cats. And big cats, big wild cats. Come here, you little rascal. So what does that mean? I'm not familiar with the microbiome of cats or anything.
Yeah, definitely that's the place to start. So the microbiome are all the tiny things that live in and on us, like bacteria and fungi and other little tiny things that are microscopic.
Bye. Goodbye, my love. All right, yes.
Yes, so
I'm back.
The microbiome, all the tiny things, bacteria, fungi, protists, other little things that live in and on us, and viruses, and
sure.
And they affect our health, our metabolism, our nutrition, our immune system.
And a lot of that stuff is like we've got it inside us and it's good, right?
Yes, most of them are beneficial.
Right. Okay. So I love the photo here on this. We're looking at the Kickstarter site for KittyBiome. So what is it about what's inside cats specifically that's of interest to you and the public?
We're interested in cats because we love cats.
Well, I hear that, sister.
There's a number of projects on humans, but we thought that it would be important to understand what makes cats healthy.
So the idea is that if you can somehow learn more about the flora and kind of just sort of the gut inner workings of a cat, you would be able to better keep the cat healthy, treat diseases, that sort of thing.
Yeah, there are lots of cats that have similar conditions as people in terms of irritable bowel disease and diabetes, obesity.
Cats sometimes have problems with kidneys. That's a pretty common thing for cats, especially when they get older.
That's right.
So, all right, so what will the KittyBiome do? So, you know, if I say, all right, I've contributed to the Kickstarter, I'm excited, you guys are getting into production soon, I think you said next month?
That's right.
So what will I get? How will I participate? How is this going to change my life?
Well,
my cats' lives.
If you sign up your cats or cat, we'll send you a sampling kit, and it will contain a swab and some gloves and a stick and a tube, and you collect a very, very tiny amount of cat poop. Put it in the tube, which contains ethanol, and shake it up, and then put it in an envelope and mail it back to us. We're going to sequence it using the Illumina MySeq. So we're using contemporary genetics and actually look at this variable region of the bacterial genome to characterize all the bacteria in that sample. And then what you're going to get back is access to an interactive website where you can look at what's in your cat and see how your cat compares to cats with health conditions, cats of different breeds, different kinds of cats. We have in our study already, I'm doing work with wild puma, leopard, lion, and cheetahs. So you can also see how the domestic cat compares to some of the wild
Getting
cats.
that poop is probably a little bit more challenging than going into the litter box for my cats because they're all indoors.
Yeah.
It's like that's a whole other project.
It is, yeah. But we're
do they bury it too? Does a puma bury its poop?
The scat, you know, I actually don't know. I mean, we usually are getting the puma, so we have a collaborator who's collecting the puma samples, and he's doing it when he actually darts them.
Got it. Okay.
So, and then if sometimes an animal gets darted, they just poop right then. So we're getting them very fresh.
So, all right, so is this almost like 23andMe for cats, but also to know what's actually going on right now, not just what my family history is, what a cat's family history is?
We definitely, I'm a big fan of 23andMe, and that's sort of what I had in mind, was to do something like that, but for the microbiome of cats.
Like, for example, why do some cats like carrots?
Yes.
I mean, that cat is loving it.
How do carrots affect the microbes in your cat's gut?
You know, yeah, like what is that, would we got a vitamin A deficiency happening here? Is that how he gets his eyes so orange? Who knows?
No, the cats are obligate carnivores, so all of this is really weird.
It's weird, yeah, well, they're, you know, yeah, I don't know, it's where this is having That's like a cat eating watermelon. You can do better than that, buddy. You can do better. So okay, so let's say, all right, I've got my sample, I mail it in, you do a bunch of, you run a bunch of tests. I mean, is the best case scenario that you say, your cat's really healthy, there's just nothing going on in there that's of concern to you?
Right, so we're definitely not at the point where it's a diagnostic test where we can say that, you have this ratio of different kinds of bacterial groups and there's a probiotic that you should take. But that's sort of the goal, I think, in the next 10 years or I mean, for humans, they aren't at that point either.
Right.
But we have to start by first characterizing what a healthy cat is and how much variation is there among healthy cats. And then hopefully we can use that information to develop therapies.
Yeah, and heredity is, as I'm sure it is in humans, I mean, that really plays a big part. I have two cats who are the same age. They're in good health for the most part. One of them has really bad teeth, and it's like they've eaten the exact same food next to each other for 8 years, and the other cat doesn't seem to have the problem, and it's just, that's something that goes back in his lineage.
Yep.
His parents had bad teeth. His sister has a snaggletooth, So that's cool. Now see, I love cats, and cats love pancakes. I mean, that's kind of everybody's dream right now.
Not a mouse.
Right. So I'll have to ask you this, Holly. There's no way that you would do something like this unless you were like an extreme cat person, correct? There's got to be a lot of people who are super into science and is smart enough to be able to kind of understand the mechanisms of what you're doing. A lot of people are like, oh, wow, science is pretty involved. But to do this specifically for cats, you've got to be like on another level of cat fandom.
Well, there's a group of us, and I will say at least 3 of us are pretty fanatical about cats. We have one dog lover who loves genetics.
Right. So it's still a really good project to work on. So
yes.
How many of you are working on it together?
I mean, there's 4 of us who started it, but then we have 3 interns working this summer at animal shelters collecting cat samples for us.
Nice.
Yeah, there's our collaborators on our website. We have some amazing interns, and then we have a couple of veterinarians who we're collaborating with as well.
So if I'm at home watching this segment right now, I mean, I'm standing here, but if whoever's at home watching this segment and says, I really want to get involved, where's the best place to start?
So our Kickstarter's over, but there's a button on the Kickstarter page that you can click on, and it will take you to our UC Davis giving site where you can still join and have your cat signed up, and we'll send you the sampling kit. They'll be ready to go out at the end of July.
I have to say one note about the Kickstarter itself. I mentioned at the beginning of the segment that you raised a lot more money than you asked for. You had told me before the show started that you kind of set the number conservatively because you want it to be a success and you just don't want to go too nuts. But it really goes to show you how much interest there was, even beyond maybe your best case scenario.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely chose too low a target, but I just didn't want to stress about it and had never done a Kickstarter before.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So we raised more than 7 times what our initial goal was. We think that cats are an amazing outreach, not just so I care about cat health, but we also think that cats are a great way to reach out to people and get them excited about science and about the research that's going on in the microbiome right now.
Yeah. How many cats do you have?
Actually, I don't currently have any cats.
No? No?
But I would like to. I do foster care for the Humane Society and the East Bay.
Noble profession, foster care people. We have a foster care person who works here at TWiT, Anthony. Yeah, that's good work that you're doing. Holly Gans, thank you so much for coming to the show and telling us more about the KittyBiome.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Absolutely.